Welcome everyone to Move with Maegen. I'm Dr. Maegen Brady, physical therapist, and this evening we'll be doing a gentle movement session that focuses on energy flow, and we'll do a short guided meditation after. All you need for this evening is a chair and a little space to move around with. So we'll start in a standing position, and we're going to just begin with a centering activity through balance. We're going to bring both arms out to the sides like a T. And with the eyes open and your eyes fixed on something steady, we're going to move to balance on one leg. You can choose whatever leg you'd like, maybe your stronger leg, the leg you feel a little more comfortable on. And we're just going to balance for a short period of time in this position. If you wobble or fall over, use the chair or the counter, safety first. But just taking a few breaths in this position here. Feeling the strength of your foot on the ground, feeling the strength of your leg muscles. And then on your next breath out, we'll bring the foot back down to rebalance. Feel down both feet on the ground, feel both feet equally, sharing the weight 50-50 between the two sides. We're going to switch over to the other side. So again, we're going to bring the arms out to the side like a T, and then we're going to shift the weight over slowly to the other side to balance on the opposite leg. Eyes open on a steady spot, maybe somewhere straight in front of you. Picking a spot and something to really focus your vision on helps to really center your attention and your body in that one area. So take another breath and breathe out. We'll bring the feet equally back down next to each other. So now, again, with safety always first and in mind, so if you want to hold on to something, you're more than welcome. We're going to try that same thing with the eyes closed. So again, if you're comfortable to raise the arms out to the side like a T, otherwise you can hold on. We're going to shift the weight over to one side. And when you're ready, close the eyes. The other toe might make some contact with the ground. Maybe even keep the other toe on the ground. A little kickstand. One more breath. And feet back down to the ground. You can open your eyes for a moment. Shake it out. Think to yourself, is it easier to balance with your eyes open, or is it easier to balance with your eyes closed? Think about that a little bit as we switch over to the other side. So again, holding on if you need to for balance and for comfort, or keeping even a toe down on the ground. We're going to go over to the other side. And then when you're feeling safe, close the eyes. Little wobbles and wiggles are okay. Another breath. And release. Bring both feet down to the ground and open your eyes. It is definitely more challenging to balance with the eyes closed because there are three systems that really help our balance. It's our vision is number one, being able to see. When we take that away, we really rely on the two other systems that help us. That's our inner ear. You hear about the vestibular system or the inner ear balance. And then the last thing is the joints and our toes and our ankles, our knees and our hips. They tell our brain where our body is in space. So we're really relying on those two systems when we take the vision away. It's a good thing we can use those eyes when we have them open. Now we're going to bring, again, the feet right underneath the hips. We're going to have 50-50 weight between the two sides. Imagine the four corners in the feet, one corner under the big toe, one corner under the little toe, two corners on the heel. So you're kind of evenly spreading the weight throughout the feet in these four corners. You have a slight bend in the knees so they're not locked out. A slight bend in the hips, the tailbone's pointing down to the ground, your belly button strong towards your spine. And we're going to begin some breathing exercises, raising the arms up as you breathe in, palms up, about chest height or so. And then when you breathe out, we're bringing the hands back down, kind of pushing the palms down. And then again, when we breathe in, we're turning the palms up, almost like you're scooping water, bringing it up towards you. And then when you exhale, go ahead and kind of push that water down away. Inhale, bringing the palms up. Chest expands, ribs expand. Exhale, everything comes down. So we're going to do this about 10 times at your own pace, in your own rhythm. Again, inhaling, everything expands. Exhaling, everything retreats. And the arm coordination doesn't have to be perfect here. Just kind of feel it, feel it with your body. Use those inhales one way, exhales the other. But I really love that imagery of water. You're like grabbing and scooping water up towards you when you breathe in. You're pushing water down, or you're pushing yourself away from the water. In the same way that, we work with water when we're swimming, we kind of work with our energy too throughout the rest of the body. So we're using that energy in as we breathe in, and then that energy out as we come down. So we'll do about 2 more. Nice. Last one, wherever you are. And great. Now that we're centered with our breathing, we've gotten some more oxygen flow into the body. We're now going to bring some attention to our core. We're going to use both hands to tap our core. And it's right kind of where, the belly button is. We're going to tap at the same time, both hands to the core. And going just as hard as you're comfortable with, right? If you just had a big meal or something like that, you're not going to go crazy hard. But you want to just bring a little bit of attention, a little bit of pressure, a little bit of awareness to your midsection. And as we get into it, you can change your rhythm. You can go slowly. You can go a little bit more quickly. Whatever feels better for you. The whole idea of this exercise right here is, again, to bring some energy, some attention, some awareness, maybe some blood flow, some feeling of energy moving to the midsection. I learned some of these tapping exercises through a course I took at the Brain and Body Institute in Cambridge. And this was one that's really kind of recommended to kind of center, yourself. And I always think about, in the winter when we're cold, our core tends to get cold. We like to bring some temperature and some heat kind of to our midsection, and that can really go out to everything from there. It's all connected into the core. So we're gonna do about another 10 times or so. Again, just your comfortable pace. And 5. And last one. Rest the hands down at the sides. Great. Take a moment just to feel how your core feels at this moment. Does it feel a little bit tingly? Does it feel a little bit warmer? You could kind of now take one hand to your belly and take one hand to the base of your neck. The question I was asked in the course was, would you prefer to have a hot head or a hot core? I had to think about this for a minute, but who really likes being a hot head? We like someone that has like a cool level head. So kind of feeling that temperature at the base of your head, seeing if it feels cool, and then feeling if there's some warmth in your belly from that exercise that we just did. And you can breathe out, bring your hands back down. It was recommended to me throughout the course of the day at certain points, you can do a kind of a quick temperature check on the base of your head or your belly to see if you're, cool up here and warm down in the belly. You want that fire in your belly. The next thing we're going to do is bring your fists with the thumb inside of your fist. And using the inside or the pinky side of your fist, we're going to, again, come to the core, but we're going to go one at a time this time. And as you do this, keep some looseness in your feet and your legs. You can start to kind of move your head a little bit side to side. So they don't have to be full rotations of the neck. We're just kind of working in a range that's comfortable, maybe like the typical amount of movement that you do with your neck during the course of the day. And again, the tapping doesn't have to be super heavy. It could be any speed that you want it to be. It could be kind of slow and controlled, or get a little bit of kind of a rhythm, a drum beat to it. And just kind of feeling this motion from the core going up through the rest of the spine. And it's okay if you get off beat or lose your coordination. Just keep going. Continuing to take those nice deep breaths in. We'll do another 10 seconds here, just alternating taps. Five. And rest the hands down at the sides. All right, excellent work. So again, just taking that moment and kind of feeling and appreciating. Do you feel a little bit of kind of a warmth in your belly? Do you feel a little bit of a change in vibration or energy throughout you? The story that was told to me by the instructor was they were suffering from an intense migraine, and they said, you know, it took about 15 or 20 minutes, but they said by the end of that time, their energy and focus on that pain had completely changed from focusing really that intense pain in the head to focusing the body more on the intent of the pressure on the belly. So just another kind of quick and cool story about how these things can kind of shift the energy throughout the day. Next, we're going to take one hand at a time. So you can take either the right or the left hand over to the opposite side of the chest, right above your breastbone, but below your collarbone. And we're going to begin with some tapping on that side there. So the same principles apply here. You can go as hard as you'd like to. You could make your voice shake if you're really going hard, if that's comfortable for you. Some people really like deep vibrations. If this is a little sensitive, and if any of the areas that we do throughout the whole course of the body with this exercise are sensitive, just go light, comfortably. If you're working with any injuries, just go gently, but just noticing how they feel. Now we're going to take it above the shoulder a little bit, so above the collarbone, to that part of the shoulder and the neck that you kind of wish someone would massage, that upper part of the neck, that upper trap area. So we're just doing the same exact thing with the tapping, going right above the neck and the shoulder. Next, we're gonna, if your arm can tolerate going back behind a little bit towards maybe the upper part of the shoulder blade. If not, just stay where you are in the upper part of the shoulder there, but seeing if you can maybe reach back a little farther. Next, the arm that you're tapping, that same side of the arm that you're tapping, you're going to bring straight in front of you, kind of like a Frankenstein arm. So your palm is facing down, and your hand is in line with your shoulder. And you're going to tap out away from your shoulder towards your hand. And we can do one more time coming back up the shoulder. And then coming back down. When you get to the hand, you're going to turn the palm facing up now, and we're going to do that same thing. We're going to come up, and we're going to come down. When you come back up to the shoulder, we're going to now flip the palm so that the thumb is facing up towards the ceiling. We're going to do that same thing one more time. We're going to go down. We're going to come back up. Take your time, just going as fast or slow as you want to. So this time when you come down towards the hand, I'm going to have you bend the elbow and continue the tapping along the pinky side of the forearm. Working our way up towards the elbow. When you reach the elbow, using that tapping and raising your arm up overhead, we're going to work our way towards the kind of the armpit, the bottom part of the shoulder blade. And you can rest and bring your arm back down. So kind of as a quick pre-check here, go ahead and raise both arms out to the side like a T again. And do you notice a difference in feeling side to side? Do you notice, does one side feel a little bit lighter or a little bit different than the other side? Do you notice a little bit more blood flow, a little bit more energy going through the side that you just tapped? We're going to take it to the other side. So whatever arm you started with, we're going to switch over to the other side. And we're going to just begin tapping right above the collarbone on the opposite side. And the other thing I'll say from, a PT perspective on some of these more, ancient Chinese and Eastern medicine type of tapping rituals with energy flow, from a PT perspective, we're taught that percussion can be really healthy for breathing, for keeping the lungs kind of fluid and moving. So, when I started learning about this, I was like, oh, it makes so much sense. It's kind of from a massage perspective as well, but also really just so healthy for the lungs. We're going to make our way up towards the upper part of the shoulder now. Again, going just as hard as feels good. Not trying to beat yourself up or give yourself bruises with this, but just kind of working into it comfortably. So you're going to take that same side arm, you're going to bring it straight out in front of you, and we're going to tap down the arm now. Careful if you have a Fitbit or an Apple Watch on either side. And then bring it back up. We're going to come back down the arm again, the palm facing down, and then back up. Now we're going to turn the palm facing up. We're going to tap along the underside of the arm. Breathing as we go. Coming back down. And then this time we're going to bring the thumb facing up towards the ceiling. So as we go down, come back up. Now as we work our way down towards the thumb again, we're going to bend the arm. And we're going to work along the inside of that arm. Then raising, getting the back side of the arm, raising the arm up overhead, and working our way down towards the armpit and the ribs. So this time we're just going to kind of continue to go. So we're just going to use both arms to kind of tap across the body, getting kind of the back of the shoulders. And you may have one arm favoring and on top of the other. If you are, we're going to now switch to the other side. Sometimes it's kind of fun to switch each one. It's up to you. We'll do one more each. Then we're going to bring the hands towards kind of the rib cage. We did a lot of work on the core earlier, but now we're kind of working on the rib cage a little bit more. We're going to bring it down to the side body, where our hips, the tops of the bony parts of the hips start, right on the outsides of the hips. Now we're going to bring it to the fronts of the legs, thighs. We can start to bend the knees quite a bit here. When working in a forward bend or forward fold, it can help to kind of generously bend the knees, release your hamstrings a little bit. As we work towards the knees, we're going to tap on the insides of the kneecaps. And then working a little bit lower towards the calves. Spending a moment at the ankles. And then we're going to flip to the outside, so moving towards the outside of the ankles. Again, a generous bend in the knees or seated, whatever's comfortable, outsides of the legs. We're coming up towards the backs of the thighs, the backs of the hamstrings. Again, a nice bend. Can feel good here. Towards the bum. Yeah. Coming back up straight. We're going to tap the low back a little bit. And then release the arms back down. And just feel how your entire body feels. Does it feel a little bit lighter, a little bit looser? Do you feel blood coursing or tingling through different areas here? All just from really a few minutes of tapping can really change the perspective and perception that the body has. So we'll take that newfound energy here. And with the chair behind, we're going to do a little sit to stand or a little mini squat. Find the four corners of both feet right underneath your hips. And we're going to go ahead and sit back behind and stand up. And again, sitting back, standing up. So the big thing to focus on here is you can always use your hands you need to stand up. But we're really using the hips quite a lot here. Those areas that we're kind of tapping along the backs of the hips, we're working on really sitting those back. With a good squat, you're focusing on keeping your knees kind of as much in line with your toes, the second toe as much as possible. It's nice to have a chair behind you. So if you do have a little bit of a backward push like I just did, the chair is going to be there to catch you. And as we do a few more of these, I'll also point out that your knees want to track right over the toes. They don't want to be kind of in or out. They're right over the toe. Nice. So let's do another 3, 2, and last one. Great. Now we're going to transition into a lunge. If you'd like to have your chair next to you for balance, we're going to start with one foot in front. We're going to lunge, bring that foot forward a little bit, and we're going to kind of bend into that front knee, dropping the back knee down towards the ground. So we're going to do 10 on one side. And the same principles apply here. That front knee is kind of staying right over the toes. That back knee is kind of thinking about a line, a plumb line, dropping straight down to the ground. Your hips are level, so you're not tilting or dropping on either side. Trying to keep your chest up nice and tall. So we'll do another 3. Great job. Last 2. And one more. And we'll come back up together. We're going to switch over to the other side. So you want your feet hip width apart, you're on train tracks, not on a tightrope. And you're on the front corners of the foot. We're going to lunge down and back up. So dropping that back knee down to the ground and coming up 10 times. Keeping that breathing going. So good for the legs, rest of the body. Last 3, 2, and one more. All right, great job. We're going to come down to the chair here. And any chair will do, but it's nice if you can kind of sit forward on the edge of the chair a little bit. We're going to now raise the knees up so your toes are kind of in line with your knees. We're going to be kicking the legs out and back in. So you can hold on to the chair for balance. We're going to keep the belly button strong towards your spine. The legs are going to come out and in. It's going to see my toes. And 2. We're going to be doing 10, 3, 4. Breathe. Nice. 5 more. So good for the core. Chest up nice and tall. 8. 2 more. And last one, extending and resting on the ground for a moment. Great work. It's good to know you can get a core workout in the chair. We're now going to transition to some bicycles. So we're going to come up into that same position. We're going to go arms behind the head. As one leg comes out straight, we're going to turn, twist towards the other side, and switch. And switch. And switch. So the chest stays up. We're not slouching down into either side. Breathing. You got this. Halfway through, okay? 10 more. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and strong finish. 1. Come on down. Great job. We did a lot of really good movement for tonight. And now we're going to move to a short guided meditation. So you can find a comfortable seat with your feet flat on the ground, or if you want to take this opportunity to lay down. That might be really nice as well. Doesn't matter to me. You did a great job with all the movement. Time for just a little bit of self-care time. So first, just kind of keeping your eyes open wherever you are, fixing your gaze on something steady in front of you. You're not super focused on it. You kind of have a soft vision. And when you're ready, we're going to start to take some nice deep breaths. And as you take some of these nice deep breaths, I'll invite you to, again, envision that image of water, the water kind of rising as you expand, and then that water kind of retreating as you breathe out. Almost like when you're at the beach and the waves are kind of coming in towards the shore, you hear that noise of the water crashing, and then when it retreats and goes away, you kind of hear that sand being gravelly pulled away. So imagine that sound of the ocean as you hear your breathing as well. And on your next breath out, you can close your eyes, let your breathing just return to normal state, and start to appreciate and feel your position in your body where you are. Feel the weight of your hips sitting on the ground and your feet on the ground, or wherever you are, just feeling that weight and that contact. And then when you're ready to, again, return to your breathing, just noticing how it feels now. Is it still even tempo? Are you still getting your breath back from some of that core work? So not trying to change it necessarily, but just noticing how it feels. And if it feels comfortable for you to count the breaths, we'll go 1 on the inhale, water's coming in, 2 on the exhale, water retreats, waves come in for 3, waves go out for 4. So on your own count, we'll go to 10. And when your mind starts to wander, think about other things, just gently invite it back to the space. Come back to the last number you were in. And then when you've reached 10, you can let go of any focus that you had. Let the mind wander, do what it wants to do. And then coming back to the feeling of your body. So feeling the weight of your position, your physical space, noticing any sounds or smells around you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes again. I love that vision of the water, whether it's with my breathing or just kind of the sound of it. Being by the ocean, I think, is therapeutic. So hopefully you can take a little bit of that energy work and maybe some of the tapping techniques that we discussed today into your daily routine. So again, I want to thank everyone, as always, for joining me. It is so great to be able to move with people all over that I may not get to move with normally. And I hope everybody has a great rest of the night. Thanks.